What's going on, guys? Chad McNatt here, back with some more sales training tips for you guys. And today, guys, we're talking about follow-ups, all right? So important, follow-ups. If you didn't close it on site, you have to do follow-ups. I'll always compare it to a relationship, guys. If you go on an amazing date, everything was perfect, man, you guys were just vibing, and then you're like, hey, we should do this again, but you never follow up, more than likely, not gonna be a second date. So make sure we're doing lots of follow-up, guys. People need to be reminded, okay? Your clients, they have busy lives just like you have a busy life. They forget about things, and we need to remind them. We need to keep ourselves in front of them without being pushy, without being annoying, and just let them know that, hey, I'm here for you. They'd be more likely to go with you or your company if they're reminded of you. If you're the one that's following up those other companies, I don't know, they might not be following up. But if you're the one that's there and showing that you're going to be there for them, more than likely you'll get that business. So let's get into it, guys. First one we have is be personable, okay? Not every point of contact we have has to be a hard sell, a hard close. We just need to be personable, okay? We need to make sure that we're building that relationship, all right? Again, by call, text, email, postcards, etc. We'll get into a few more here in a minute. So make sure we're being personable. Second, let's talk about emails for a second, all right? Follow-up emails. So now guys, emails are so easy to automate. Create you a list of automated emails and when they should go out, what intervals they should go out, and what you're gonna put in those emails. Again, this doesn't need to be a hard sell or a hard close in the email. These emails are meant to provide information and add value to the information you've already given them, and just to keep your name in front of them. You want to keep your name in front of them and show them, again, that you're going to be there for them. And that's a great way to do it, is by these follow-up tactics. Next, we have text, guys. Now, text, I like to text my clients as soon as I leave, just saying, hey, thank you again. I thanked them before I left, but I'm going to send them a text and say, hey, thank you for, since I'm in the home service industry, thank you for having me out to your beautiful home. It was a pleasure meeting to you today. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you, okay? Does a couple of things. Now they have my direct line, so if there's any contact or any issues they have, any concerns, questions they have my direct contact as quickly as possible. And again, we're just building that relationship. We're just thanking them for their time. We want to value their time just like we want them to value our time. And in any relationship, you should value their time. So thank them for giving you time, okay? Do it in person, but also send another one, okay? Thank them, thank them, thank them. All right, so next we have postcards, etc., okay? I love postcards. I love to send a postcard out after I've met with a client for a few reasons. I can't tell you the last time I've gotten a handwritten anything. It's just not something that happens much anymore. So I handwrite postcards when I get back to the office. I handwrite postcards for my clients from the day. Okay, it's just a special little thing they get that's different. And that's what you have to focus on when you're doing your follow-ups, is being different. If every other company is following up and you're just following up in the exact same way they are, using the same verbiage, everything, you don't stand out at all. Use something like these postcards that's handwritten, something special, something they're not going to get from somebody else, to show them again that you care. So the etc. part of it. You know, do things that other salespeople won't do, don't think of. And again, I talk about building a relationship. When you're in the sale and you're talking to your client, you're building that relationship. If you're building that relationship correctly, you probably found something, again, home service industry. So when I go into places, one day I went in, saw a gentleman had a bottle of scotch on his bar. Happens to be my favorite scotch as well. So we talked about it for a while. Noticed he was running a little low on it, so what did I do? Next day I went out and bought a bottle of that scotch for him, left a handwritten note on his doorstep, shot him a text, just said, hey, look, I really appreciate your time yesterday. I just wanted to leave a little something for you. Do stuff that other people aren't going to do, okay? Go that extra mile. You're going to stand out, and it's just really going to help you with your conversion rate. Next, we have calls, okay? This is when we get to be a little more direct. This is when we really get to use those closing strategies and get more to the point. Again, don't, guys, emails, texts, postcards, this isn't for sales. This isn't to close a sale. This is to build a relationship. Number one, build a relationship. That'll make this a lot easier. Now, when you're making these calls, you want to make sure that you're scheduling these calls, okay? And that's going to bring us to our next point, is knowing when to do all of this, all right? If they're receiving 5 emails from you a day, you're probably going to get marked as spam. They're probably going to mark you to where they don't get your emails anymore. It gets annoying. If they're going to get texts from you every single day, they're not going to read those texts anymore, probably going to block your number. Again, it gets annoying. If you do too much with the gifts and the postcards and all of that, again, it seems overzealous and it seems annoying. So you really have to pace yourself when you're doing these things. And depending on, your sales cycle and things like that, some of the timing on this can change. But figure out what works for you on the timing, spread it out to where you're staying in contact, but you're not just bombarding them with texts and calls and emails. So on the calls, I like to get them scheduled. Yeah, here and there I'll just randomly call just to check in and things like that. But especially if I know this is going to be a call to get the sale closed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule that call. I don't want to keep calling them throughout the last 5 days, and I might be having to call at a time that they're never going to be available. It's the same thing, if you don't answer, your mom calls, you don't answer the phone, and next thing you know, you have 10 missed calls. It gets a little annoying. So we don't want to annoy them. We don't want to annoy them by any means. So what we're going to do is we're going to schedule those calls. So when I text them or they respond to my email or anything like that, I'm going to go ahead and set up one of those calls. I'm going to set a time and a date that works for them. Again, I'm going to give them 2 options, like we talked about in a previous video. Give them 2 options. Say, hey, I can do Monday at 9, Tuesday at 10. Which one of those times works better for you? Now I'll have a scheduled time so I know when I call them, more than likely, unless something happens, I'm not going to be sent to voicemail. I'm actually going to be able to be in front of them, talk to them, and that's where I can sell my close. Guys, just remember, keeping this just a healthy relationship, all right? So, if your significant other, mentions something that they like or they want to do or things like that, going back to the postcards and etc., going back to doing things that others wouldn't do. Treat it as a relationship, guys. And I cannot stress that enough. Treat this as you would your husband, wife, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it may be. Treat this as such. When they say something, take it to heart. When they're talking about things they enjoy or anything like that, take that to heart. And be compassionate. Use that, just like don't use that to manipulate them, but use that as you would a relationship. Okay? Your girlfriend says, hey, I love this bottle of wine. Great, next time you come over, you might have that bottle of wine. Same thing in sales, guys, because it is a relationship. We're working with people. This is not some just object we're working with. We're working with people. And if you're not able to build a relationship with people, if you're not able to connect with people, you're going to have a really hard time being a great salesperson. So build those relationships. Build. Don't think of it as just a transaction. Because if you're thinking about it as just a transaction, again, you're going to have a hard time jumping to that part of great sales person. Legitimately think about this as, hey, this is a new person that I'm meeting. I'm going to take interest in them. Not interest in their money or interest in them buying from me. I'm taking interest in them. Because if I take interest in them, the rest of it just falls in line. Everything else comes once I take interest in them. Because what's my job? My job is to help them. Yes, my job is to sell them something. But my job is to help them solve a problem that they have. I want to help them solve a problem. That's the way I need to think about it. So when I go in there and they're explaining their problem, their issue, whatever it may be to me, I have to make sure that I'm listening. I have to make sure that I'm compassionate, that I fully understand what it is they're looking for. And if I'm not doing all that, guys, never going to be a great salesperson. So people first, relationships first, everything else falls into line. All right? All right, guys, so that's all I got for you today. So if you guys, again, if you're struggling with anything in sales, whether it's follow-ups, you got more questions on follow-ups, you want me to read through a few of your automated emails to see if maybe we could switch up some wording and things like that, or if you just had questions about timelines, anything like that, guys, leave me a comment. I'll be happy to go over that with you guys. I'll email back and forth with you. We can figure some things out. But until next time, guys, make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're liking this video. Follow the notification bell. All that, guys. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.